Welcome to the Staten Island Comedy Show. We're going to have a great show for you tonight, so stay tuned. It's a virtual show. We have 5 comedians to perform their stand-up set on location, and you will see them right here on the Staten Island Comedy Show. Our first comedian is Fred Rubino. He is from Brooklyn, New York. He's been doing comedy for 10 years. Fred started doing comedy because he liked to write, and he thought he could definitely write funny stories. He didn't know if he could actually perform on stage, but he knew he could write. In 5 years, he sees himself doing comedy and hopefully doing it at bigger venues across the country, not just on the East Coast. To see where Fred is performing, go to his website, fredrubino.com. To see his videos, go to Fred Rubino on Facebook and Fred Rubino on YouTube and Instagram. Our first comedian of the show, Fred Rubino, ladies and gentlemen.
When I was like 10 years old, I told my grandmother, because I saw a mouse in the kitchen, I said, "Grandma, I need some cheese for a mouse trap." That night, she made a vat of fresh mozzarella. I look in the mouse trap the next day, there's a little wedge of mozzarella with a little slither of basil on top, some olive oil. The mouse was with us for 8 months. It died of a heart attack. But let me tell you something. When you saw the world through Grandma's eyes, it was a different world. Right? She saw the world differently. I remember I was 15, I'm walking down the block with her. I go, "Grandma, see that guy just got out of jail, armed robbery. But maybe he was hungry." "Grandma, you see that girl? Slept with every guy on the block. But maybe her father no show her no love." "Grandma, look, chicken cutlets are up 2 cents a pound. Cornudo disgraziale, chicken cutlets. Kill anyone you want, sleep with whoever you want, leave chicken cutlets out. Even grandmas have changed, right? Even grandmas have. I'm in the Staten Island Mall the other day, in Macy's. I see a 92-year-old woman. She's got a basket. You know what's in the basket? 3 perfumes, 2 colognes, eye cream, lip cream, moisturizer. You know what my grandmother smelled like? Olive oil, basil, oregano, and garlic. When my grandmother sweat, you could dip bread in her. One time she went to the hospital for a yeast infection. Turns out it was focaccia. That's a Thanksgiving joke. Say that. All the stuffing is yours.
Thank you, Fred Rubino. I want to take a moment to explain to you the picture behind me. It's a picture of the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. This bridge connects Staten Island and Brooklyn. It is one of the longest expansion bridges in the world. Okay, moving right along, our next comedian is Rachel Cohen. Originally raised in Coral Springs, Florida, she's been doing comedy for about 2.5 years. She got into comedy by joining a slam poetry society in college because she had a crush on one of the club's officers. She found out she couldn't write actual poetry to save her life, but she could make short, funny poems that evolved into jokes. In 5 years, she hopes to be touring and relies solely on her income from comedy. You can find her on Instagram at Rachel Cohen Comedy. That's at Rachel Cohen Comedy. Our next comedian, Rachel Cohen, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I just want to take this time to say this is an amazing showcase. All of the women back there, it is the most supportive room I have ever been in. It is amazing. Give it up for them. So much support and vaginas. I'm not mad about that. Just a room full of supportive vaginas. I love it, guys. I'm so happy I could be here. I live here in Orlando, but I've been going back and forth between here and South Florida. It's amazing. My parents live in South Florida. I'm very lucky to say that I have a very supportive family, which in all things considered, I was raised Jewish. I have a Jewish mom. And if you know anything about Jewish moms, they raise their daughters to grow up, you're gonna wear a dress, marry a nice Jewish boy. You know, my mom didn't think I'd look like a nice Jewish boy, okay? So am I handsome? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my girlfriend's right there. No, you're very sweet. Thank you so much. I have a very supportive mom. My dad, all things considered, he's very supportive. He's not in my life a lot. When I was younger, he's actually Catholic. He was a religious studies professor. Yes. A lot of books about Jesus in my Jewish home. Yeah, they actually helped me a lot though, because by the time I read all of them, by the time I got into college, I could actually argue with hate preachers that came to the campus to the point where, like, you know, when you get into an argument with someone, you have no traction against them, so you just start saying angry. That's the point I could get them to. I would walk away, they would be like, "We hope you get stoned." I was like, "Oh, I'm a college student, Lord willing." Text me back if anyone here. I don't have weed on me right now, but share a little flavor with your neighbor, if you know what I'm saying. Oh my God. It took a lot to have the relationships that I have today, because like when I was in high school, I wasn't out, right? I told everyone I liked dudes, and I would just have a really long list of expectations and like qualities they'd have to have that were so unattainable that I'd never be able to date them. My friends would go like, "We want to set you up. What are you looking for?" I'd be like, "Well, he has to have a rock hard body, perfectly coiffed hair, a sports car, a dream house." They're like, "Your guy sounds a lot like Ken from Barbie." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine with that." They're like, "You know Ken doesn't have a penis, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine with that." Oh my God. And then I got to college, and then all of those qualities, that list burned it. I didn't about anything then. When I was first with a girl, right, our date was I sat in our dorm room for an hour and watched her eat a rotisserie chicken with her bare hands. And the entire time I was just like, yeah. You have a vagina. I wish I wrote that. That was true. I'm very lucky though. I'm very lucky. I have been dating my girlfriend now for 1.5 years. Give it up for that. Thank you. I love her a lot. We're in couples therapy, not because anything is wrong, but because we both are lesbians and believe in therapy wholeheartedly. Yes, we were at a session, and the therapist asked us, what are some of the fears that you have in your relationship, right? And my girlfriend, in a moment of vulnerability and honesty, goes to our therapist and says, well, I'm worried that my partner is not going to find me sexually attractive. Right? Which is a real fear for a lot of women. And I said, I understand that. My fear is also about sex. I'm afraid that one day I'm going to go down on you and I'm going to sneeze. I know, she We both share a love of animals, right? Who doesn't love animals here? Yeah, exactly. When we first started dating, I remember a moment when we first started dating, when we woke up and we found a cockroach that was like chilling on our nightstand, right? And I went to go kill it because it was and she stopped me. I was like, no, I want you to release it into its natural habitat. I was like, I'm not going to Waffle House. It's 3 o'clock. She is the greatest relationship I have ever had, though. And I think, yes, I love her a lot. I think that something we all share is relationships, right? You can all agree with that. And I remember my worst relationship. My worst relationship was when a girl called me daddy. Yes. Yes. I know. Oh no. Oh yes. She did. And I did not know how to react, ladies and gentlemen, so I just did what my dad did when I first called him daddy. I left. I want you to give it up for all of the amazing convicts that you've seen. Give it up for us. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Rachel Cohen. Our next comedian is Matthew Ford. Matthew is from Raleigh, North Carolina, originally from Jackson, Mississippi. Matthew took his first comedy class just over a year ago. His set tonight is the very first time he ever got on stage. He used to watch the Best of Johnny Carson collection with his dad. It introduced him to comics like Rodney Dangerfield, Buddy Hackett, and Don Rickles. He always admired how someone armed with only a microphone and their words can have such control over an audience. In 5 years from now, he hopes to be a comedy writer in television and or film. Matthew fallback is underwear modeling. Check out his weekly comedy showcase on Facebook Live at Matthew Ford, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Follow him on Instagram at BigMTF. Also, like and subscribe to his YouTube page, Matthew Ford Comedy. Our next comedian, Matthew Ford, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so who here still has their AOL accounts? Anybody? Quiet, Mom. I still have mine, so you're in good company. And for those of you who don't know what AOL is, I'll explain it to you when you're younger. No, I did that joke one time, and somebody actually yelled out to me, "Do you still have MySpace too?" I said, "Of course I do. I'm white. I'm always living in the past." I love social media though. Social media is pretty awesome. I think this generation kind of, I don't know, I think they take social media for granted. I like to think, what if past generations would have had social media, you know? Follow me here. Marilyn Monroe on Instagram, right? You can see that. Ted Bundy would have killed it on Tinder, right? Lights left, nice, right? I'd give anything to read like the Yelp review from Mrs. Lincoln on the Ford Theater, right? 0 stars. The service was shoddy. But I enjoyed the play. And I don't know what's funny here, maybe y'all can help me out, but Jesus Christ on Christian Mingle, or Hitler on J-Date? That's absurd, I know, because if anything, they'd both be on Twitter for the followers. I got a little follower of my own, a little 6-year-old boy. He's the love of my life, but he will imitate anything he sees, anything. And here lately he watches these Home Alone movies. You've seen these. Which is good news, I guess. I got a fantastic home security system for me when I get home. The bad news is, every time I go upstairs, I take a paint can to the face. My medical bills are starting to pile up. It's not good. But yeah, I wish they'd make a movie about vegetables. You know, follow me here, because my son won't eat them. He won't. I've tried everything. You right? But the one thing he will eat, actually, is anything that falls on the floor. So I put two and two together and just put them up for adoption. I mean, to me, that seems like the most logical choice. No, guys, I would never do that. I would never do that. A trade-in, maybe. Store credit. Pretty sure I'm due for an upgrade. No, but my son and I, we play a lot of games together. We play games. Right now, his favorite game is called Daddy Come Wipe Me. Have you heard of this? I figured some of you might have heard of this. It's a game that consists of me walking into the bathroom and the door wide open. And he's in one of three positions, right? He's either stark naked with his ass up in the air. My personal favorite. Or he's dancing around, you know, you gotta get him still. Or he's really good at technology too, for some reason. I went to school I went to college to study computers for four and a half, let's call it 6 years. You know, but little kid, man, he can outsmart me. And I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure he's turned all my Alexas against me. Which, you know, it goes like this. I go, Alexa, add sunglasses to my shopping list. I thought you said we were broke. Alexa, who told you that? Oh, so you can afford sunglasses, but you can't afford new Star Wars Legos. Alexa, cut me some slack. Now I'm playing Nickelback. No, you win. We'll get the Legos. Thanks, everybody. That's my time.
Thank you, Matthew Ford. Our next comedian is George Wagner. George is from Asheville, North Carolina, by the way of Toledo, Ohio. He has been doing comedy for over 2 years. He got into comedy because one day he stumbled across a local Facebook comedy group, went to an open mic, and has been having fun ever since. He said that he has always been a smartass and a jokester. You can find him on Instagram, Button Down Comedy. You can email him at comedygeo@gmail.com or buttondowncomedy@gmail.com. Our next comedian is George Wagner, ladies and gentlemen.
The Bible tells us that man was created in God's image. Why? Why does God have such a small penis? I have seen the light. It is a bright light. I have heard the booming voice as it says to me, put your clothes on and get out of the car. If God is always watching us, does that make us God's Pornhub? Missionary. Oh, that's good. Turn her over. On the way over here, I let somebody in. And you know, when you let somebody in, all you want is the wave, right? Some acknowledgement for doing something nice. I didn't get the wave. So I pulled up next to him. I looked at him. I still did not get the wave. So I put him in the wall. I put him in the wall hard. Because they won't learn if we don't teach them. And it worked. He was waving. Of course, he was only using one finger. But it's a start. But it gave me that warm, fuzzy feeling to know that I helped somebody improve themselves. How many people voted in the primary? I've come to the realization that voting in a primary is like ordering off the menu as you get older. It's not so much what you like, it's what's going to give you the least amount of gas. And I noticed The side of the Lysol can says it kills 99.9% of the germs. What about that 0.1%? That poor, lonely germ, surrounded by the dead bodies of his family and friends. Vengeance seeps through every ounce of his being, climbs out from under the carcasses, ties a bandana around his head. Rambo, first bug. And he has one purpose. And he has nothing to lose. His goal? To see you on your knees, hugging the porcelain throne, laughing at you as you pray to God for the sweet release of death. Only then will his bloodlust be satisfied. And only then can he find the remaining 0.1% and have that orgy to repopulate. So I've been doing comedy about 2 years, a little over 2 years now. And comedy is filled with ball jokes and racial insensitivity, family dysfunction. What I do, I drank too much, took this drug, smoked weed, and I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. Pull that down, I'm white. So what do I have to complain about? Now when I say I'm white, if the lights went out right now, they put me by the door so you could find your way out. If I walked up to you and I did the fist bump with the explosion, at that very moment, it would no longer be cool. I was a successful rapper for a while. I had people lining up. Of course, I'd involve a table at the mall around Christmas time. I'll end on this. I got to see a rap video being produced. A friend of mine was a promoter. We arrived about 2 a.m. at this empty warehouse. I was dressed similar, dress slacks, dress shirt. We got out of the car. Artist walks up to my promoter friend and says, "Hey, who's the narc?" Now think about this for a moment. How bad would I be to come dressed like this? I'd be dressed like him. That is my time. You guys have been a great audience. Thanks for staying.
Thank you, George Wagner. Our next comedian is Austin Anderson. He is from Dallas, Texas, originally, but now lives in New York. He has been doing comedy for almost 3 years. In 5 years, he sees himself doing comedy. He says that hopefully he continues to get better and grow as a person and a comedian. You can follow him at the Austin Anderson on Instagram and TikTok. Our final comedian of the night, Austin Anderson, ladies and gentlemen.
I made the mistake of telling people that I work with that I do stand-up comedy. And if anyone in your workplace ever tells you that they do stand-up comedy, I'm going to ask that you listen to this song. Okay, make that promise to me. I need a verbal consent here.
Yes.
I am not Miss Maisel. I have never seen that show. I appreciate it, Megan. Please stop writing me jokes. So you wanna try comedy? Well then go to an open mic. Yes, I've heard of Conan O'Brien. He's a very famous guy. So if you've got a comedian in your life and you wanna tell him a joke, take this little word of advice and don't. Thank you. I am from Texas originally. That is exactly what that deserves. I should not do anything else. Texas is always weird. We meet some Texas. Even when I meet people here from Texas, it's always a gamble. Because you never know. Are they going to be cool or are they going to be a little... I personally have developed a rule of thumb. If I meet someone from Texas, I can tell they're cool if we're not in Texas anymore. And that's usually what I do. The good ones move, like me. That's what we do. But Texas actually did something that I thought was really cool recently. They became the first state, this is completely true, to make it a crime to send an unsolicited dick pic. This is true. This is 100% accurate. And still buy an AK-47. still readily available. Texas is concerned about the wrong pistol. But it is a cool law, and I was really confused why Texas would pass this, because Texas doesn't usually pass cool laws. And I did some research, and it turns out the dating app Bumble is headquartered in Austin, Texas. And they lobbied the government in order to pass this law. Two things. One, of course, Texas did the right thing on accident. That makes perfect sense. But two, what kind of dystopian nightmare is dating as a woman like, that you felt the need to lobby your government? See, I've had bad dates before, but I've never had a date so bad where I went home and was like, I gotta call my congressman tomorrow. That was rough. Does anyone have kids in here? Anybody have any kids? Nope, that's fine. If you have any kids in the future, this next one's really a children's song, so you can feel free to share it with them. I'll teach you the chords after, okay? I am a turtle, walking through the street doing turtle things. I am a turtle, got a turtle wife and a family. I am a turtle, swimming in the ocean going glug, glug, glug. I am a turtle. Oh no, I've been killed by climate change. We should have listened to Tom Steyer. That's what we should have done. He said it was important. My cousin Gary is, I love my cousin Gary, but he is what we in the South call a moron. It's a regional term. I don't think you guys have it up here. When he was in high school, he was caught having sex. And my aunt went to him and was like, hey, I gotta make sure you're being safe because I caught this and I don't want little Gary's running around. And he said, don't worry, I got you. And if there's 3 very insecure words in the English language, those are I got you. So she was like, I'm gonna need you to elaborate. Can you tell me a little bit more on what this means? And he was like, I got you. My buddy told me as long as I, Gary, take a laxative after having sex, she can't get pregnant. He believed the male taking a laxative after having intercourse would prevent pregnancy, which is absurd, because we would never have male birth control. That is ridiculous. You're awesome. You guys have been great. Bye.
Thank you, Austin Anderson. Well, this is the end of our show. I hope you enjoyed it. See you the next time. Bye.